Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Okay, before we continue, I have the class attendance. Make sure that you sign up and don't dare sign for anyone who is not around, okay? So today we're starting a new topic, and the new topic is
Develop an operating system.
And our title today,
Fundamentals of operating system.
yes, fundamentals of operating system. So you also remember what we did last time, okay? Make sure that you read on your notes. I'll just start with a new topic today. So in this topic, you need to know the definition of an OS. When I say OS, I mean an operating system, okay?
Yeah.
And the next thing that you need to know is to describe the functions of an operating
System.
You need to know the functions of an operating system. And the last one, you need to know how to describe or to discuss on the structures of an operating system. So by the end of this session, you should be able to know all that. Who can tell me what an operating system is? What is an operating system? What is an operating system? What is an operating system? Nobody has an idea. Nobody has an idea? Okay, yes, you can try.
An operating system is a program that acts as the middleman between the users and the actual programs that the users need to.
That is a very good trial. Yes, you can say an operating system is a software component that manages the computer, hardware, and software. In layman's language, you can say an operating system. This is an intermediary between the computer users and the hardware. Are we together?
Yes.
So, according to that definition, can you think of the functions of an operating system? Think of those functions. When you get the functions, make sure that you tell your friend what you've gotten, and then you give me the answer. So I'm giving you 2 minutes. Huh? You are done?
Yes.
Yes, let's start with Evie. Tell me, which function have you gotten?
Memory management.
Memory management. What about
File
you?
management.
File management.
Resource management.
Resource management.
User interface.
User interface. Nobody has talked about security, and that is a very, very, very important point. Okay?
Yes.
So those are some of the functions that we have. For example, when you talk about resource management, what do we mean? Resource management, it means that the operating system manages computer resources. For example, the resources can include the CPU, that is the central processing unit. We can talk about the memory. I believe you know all those resources, right?
Yeah.
The next one is process management. It handles the execution of processes. And as we said, we have the stages of process execution. You can't just start a process from nowhere. We have this, where the process starts. It can wait. It can also be terminated according to they, according to the functions available and the resources that are available. The next one, we talked about security and access control. How can we facilitate security? How can we enhance it? By doing what?
Encryption.
Encryption, that's encryption.
Installing antivirus.
Yes, another one?
Passwords.
Yes. Actually, those are the methods of making sure that the data is secure. And that's one function of the operating system. It ensures that there will be no unauthorized person accessing the data. That is about security. The next one that we've talked about the user interface. Can someone explain about the user interface?
Child, the user interface is like what the user interacts with, the first screen that when the user opens the...
Actually, that is very correct. User interface, this is where the OS provides the user with a platform to interact directly with the what? With the operating system. So those are some of the functions of the operating systems. And the last one, we've said that we need to discuss the structures of an operating systems, okay?
Yes.
We have different structures of the operating systems. Do you know any of them?
Yes.
Yes, tell me the first one.
Monolithic
Yes,
structures.
monolithic structures. The next one,
Linear.
AP,
Layers.
layered structures. I can see you did some research. It's like you knew what we were going to discuss today. Yes, we have different kinds of structures. We have the monolithic, we have the layered structures, we have the microkernel, we also have the client-server model. Which one can you explain among those ones? Which one can you explain? Yes.
Layered.
Yes, tell us more about it.
The OS is layered into different layers to perform specific tasks.
Yes, that is actually what you mean when you say layered structures. Layered structures is where the operating system is divided into layers, and each layer has a specific task which it performs. That is about the layered structures. The next structure, can you even talk about the client server? I know that you've interacted with this phrase over and over again. The client server, we can say that the client server, it distinguishes the function of the client and the function of the server. And we know that the client actually requests for the service, while the server does what? Processes that service, that request, that is. That is about the client server. The next one, we've talked about monolithic structures. In this, the entire operating system is a single program that runs in a single entity, okay? That means it allows for efficient communication between components, but it can be complex to manage and debug because it works as a single structure. So in case of any problem, you won't even realize where the problem is coming from. It's very different from the layered structures because in the layered structures, we say that it's divided into layers. So in case of any problem, it's very easy to identify where the problem is coming from. Is that okay? So the next structure is microkernel. Does any one of you know what microkernel means?
No.
It is, in this one, it's only the most essential services which run in the kernel mode, while the other services run in the user mode. Some services run in the kernel mode and the other ones run in the user mode. Okay, that is fine. I believe that we are done with the structures of an operating system. What have you not understood in our lesson today? Because we started with defining what an operating system is, we've described the functions of this operating system, and we've also discussed the structures of the operating system. When you go, or when we meet in our next class, I'll be leaving you with an assignment, okay? You will go and identify the examples, different examples of operating systems, and make sure that you expound on that. If it's the explanation, make sure that you do explain. I believe that is the end of our lesson today, unless someone has a question. No. Okay, you can give me my class attendance, please. Make sure you do the assignment, okay?
Yes.
Bye-bye.